Michelle Cooper is the Chief Executive of County Durham Community Foundation and joins me to talk about the Poverty Hurts appeal. Michelle, the foundation has launched Poverty Hurts. What was the inspiration behind the campaign?
The inspiration was really for us to pick up on all the work that we did during COVID. We worked with so many organisations that are just embedded in their local communities, help people so often, and we knew the pain that was coming around the corner. We know furlough has ended. We know that the universal credit uplift has ended as well, and fuel bills are rising. So put all of that together with our knowledge of the communities that we've supported during COVID, and the time just felt right to launch an appeal that could help people most in need at this time.
For those people who don't know much about the work of the foundation, could you explain a little bit about your raison d'etre?
So we've existed for over 26 years now, and our role is really to support community groups by getting funding out there that they can use to cover their core costs, to work with their communities. The money that we raise typically comes from individuals who either live in the county or maybe grew up in the county of Durham and are keen to support their local communities. Alternatively, it's businesses who may fundraise through their staff activities or actually wish to set up funds with us. And when I say set up a fund, they may place a donation. It may be £500, it may be £10,000. The beauty of the Community Foundation is because we have so many people working with us, any amount that an individual or a business gives to the foundation is large in size when we put it all together and can help local groups.
Is this the first time the foundation has instigated an appeal of this nature?
Very much of this nature. Historically, we've had much more of an in-house appeal around surviving winter. But frankly, the word poverty has just existed in the press for the last 18 months. You know, COVID has hit. So many people are experiencing financial hardship. It's people in work as well. We know families that are going out to work but are still not able to feed their children in the way that they would like to, put the clothing on their children to go to school in the way that they would like to. So really, we've gone quite hard on the language of poverty hurts this time round because it really does, and never more so than right now.
Some of the statistics you've quoted in the press releases around this subject are quite frightening when you look at the level of child poverty we see in the region. Do you just want to articulate some of those numbers for us?
It's amazing. A lot of people don't believe it when we say it, but sadly 1 in 3 children are living in poverty. Now, there's quite sophisticated definitions of poverty. I'm not going to go into that. These are government-derived figures, though, but to think that nearly 10 out of a class of 30 children are potentially living in poverty in County Durham. Sadly, in Middlesbrough and some of the other Tees Valley areas, the numbers are higher. So in Middlesbrough, it is nearly 1 in 2 children are living in poverty.
And how does that appear in society? What are we actually seeing as a result of that child poverty?
Again, it's easier, isn't it, to try and visualise things. So a lot of children just simply won't be able to go on school trips because mum and dad can't afford maybe even the non-uniform that is up there with their peers. They can't afford the extra pocket money that their children need to go on that school trip. Mum and dad can't replace the fridge freezer when it breaks down. It's about food, maybe 2 tins of baked beans lasting the whole family the week, effectively. So it's around the quality of life. It's around the type of food that individuals and families are able to access. It's around a child having a uniform that is maybe washed far more than anyone else's and looks a completely different colour, and it's the stigmatisation that goes with that.
How will you be planning to use this appeal once you start looking for suitable recipients?
The great news is we've already received some wonderful donations. So thank you to everyone who's given. We've had individuals, we've had businesses such as the Banks Group and UMI who gift through us. They've supported the fund. So we're actually in a position where we'll quite soon be able to make our first grant award to a group. That group will be selected, possibly for working with children, but the other demographic that we do have is also families and the elderly in our society who are also having to make hard choices between eating and heating their home. So we'll be looking to award money to that group. We then trust that charitable group that we give that funding to, and they will make sure that people that they know, that they care about in their community, they're well, They've got someone to talk to. They've maybe got a food package being delivered to their home. Sometimes it's not about the food itself. Sometimes it's about the fact that somebody has just knocked on that door and shown that they've cared. And that's what we'll support our charities to do.
You mentioned you've already received a number of donations from individuals and businesses. What are the benefits for businesses in donating to this appeal?
So it's the fact that we've been around a long time. We've got a trusted relationship and network of charities that we work with. We're always open to work with new charities. And again, during the pandemic, we had the amazing experience of working with communities that just popped up and delivered support services overnight in an amazing way. But what we bring is that route to local community-based charities. They know their neighbourhoods, they know the people in need. We can get that money to them in a trusted way. If a business gives through us, they know where that money is going to. They know the difference it will make, not least because we'll make sure that we follow up on that money and we get a story back and we can track the impact that every donation has made. So I think it's that ease of giving, but then everyone knows about the national charities. It's very easy to give to a national charity, and that's absolutely everybody's right to give if that's how they wish to give. But I think for local businesses wanting to support their local communities, we can direct any charitable giving to anywhere that is required.
One of the concerns many people have in donating to charities is the amount of administrative costs that seem to be incurred, in particular with some of the larger national charities. How does the foundation manage those core costs?
We try and keep our core costs as low as possible. I do have overheads like any business, but again, because we've been doing this for so long, we can keep costs to an absolute minimum. For every £1 that is donated throughout this appeal, 90p will get to the charity. We ourselves are a charity, is then the interesting thing. You know, last year we awarded over £5 million in grants. We literally went to home working within 24 hours. I had to buy all new equipment for the team. So we have running costs ourselves, but the efficiency of the organisation does mean that for every £1 that is given, 90p will get to that group. I think the other thing that we feel is so important about this appeal, though, we're actually putting our own money into this appeal this time round. You know, we saved money during the COVID pandemic. The money that we didn't spend on train tickets, travel, we're putting into the fund ourselves. So we're actually putting £7,000 in because we believe in this appeal so much.
Now, if this appeal resonates with people, how can they get involved?
Many different ways. Some people have reached out to us. We've just had a choir reach out to us and say they're going to be singing down in Covent Garden, believe it or not. They're going to be fundraising and they've nominated the Poverty Hurts campaign as their charity of choice. For some people, they may be able to give a small amount and we would welcome that, and it's probably best through a Just Giving page that we've set up. So people can give through our Just Giving page. People can get in touch with us through our website, which is www.cdcf.org.uk. There's a clear donate button. People can get in touch with me. Very happy for them to find my email, drop me a note and give. Some people have actually been really generous. They can't give cash at this time, and that's more than understandable, and they're actually doing things in kind for us. So a photographer has very kindly offered to go out and photograph some of the groups when we've gifted the money to them.
The appeal was launched at the beginning of October. Is this a finite appeal, or is this going to run for some considerable time?
Sadly, poverty isn't going to go away anytime soon. You asked me about the statistics of poverty. Poverty has been increasing in our country since 2012, I think it is. So it had been on the decline. It's now on the way up. We're very much looking to continue this work, probably beyond Christmas, continue fundraising, not least because the model of the Community Foundation is we're not just here for today, we're here for the future. And all too sadly, poverty is going to remain with us for the foreseeable future.
As we look to the run-up to Christmas, is this an ideal opportunity for businesses to engage in this appeal?
I would love it if businesses got in touch with us, asked us how they could get involved. Again, the obvious one is we've made savings, so we've contributed those savings, but I think there are the fun things, as you've talked about. We all know about the Secret Santa jumpers, the Secret Santa's gift, rather than maybe that £5 gift that's going to be lost on a pub crawl, maybe there's something that can be gifted back to the community foundation. So there are lots of different ways. We're exploring how businesses can best work with us for gifting through the foundation, but we'd love to work with companies during the Christmas appeal.
To find out more about the Poverty Hurts appeal and the wider work of County Durham Community Foundation, go to the website cdcf.org.uk, where you can make donations directly online.